The distant hum of the station's environmental systems was Liam Kendrick's only companion as he monitored the deep space sensors. After 3 years as a maintenance technician on orbital platform Theta 9, the endless void had become both home and prison. Tonight's shift had been particularly uneventful, until the proximity alarm shattered the monotony. Unidentified object on approach vector, the system announced. Impact imminent. Liam's fingers flew across the console. Computer, identify object. Unknown configuration. No match in database. Object mass and trajectory consistent with small spacecraft. The sensor display showed something tumbling erratically toward the station's outer ring. Not a meteor, too controlled despite its damaged appearance. He made a split-second decision. Rerouting to Intercept Bay 4, he muttered, overriding safety protocols. If this was first contact, history wasn't going to remember him as the technician who let it bounce off into the void. The object, now clearly some kind of escape pod, scraped against the magnetic guides as the bay doors sealed behind it. Emergency decontamination protocols engaged automatically, bathing the small craft in ultraviolet light and chemical mist. Through the observation window, Liam studied the vessel. Roughly egg-shaped, its iridescent hull shimmered despite obvious damage. No markings he recognized, certainly nothing from Earth or its colonies. Atmosphere analysis complete, the computer reported. External shell contains no known pathogens. Caution advised. Liam sealed his maintenance suit and cycled through the airlock. The pod's surface felt warm beneath his gloved fingers, pulsing slightly like something alive. A seam appeared at his touch, widening into an opening. Inside lay a being unlike anything in humanity's known catalogue of life. Humanoid but clearly alien, tall and slender with silvery blue skin that seemed almost translucent near delicate joints. Four-fingered hands clutched what appeared to be a wound in its abdomen. Most striking were its eyes, large, multifaceted like an insect's, yet conveying unmistakable intelligence and pain. "Hello," Liam said uselessly, knowing translation was impossible. "I'm here to help." The alien's mouth moved, producing sounds like crystalline wind chimes. From a compartment in its damaged garment, it withdrew a small device that projected holographic symbols. Universal translator? Liam guessed. Pretty convenient coincidence. The alien adjusted something, and simple Earth English appeared among the alien script: danger. Child. Preserve. You're in danger. Your child. Liam tried to understand. More symbols flowed: dying. Carry future. Help. The alien's free hand moved to her swollen abdomen, which now Liam noticed was glowing with a faint blue luminescence beneath her torn garment. Liam understood enough. Medical bay. We need to get you to medical. As he helped the alien from the pod, he noticed more details: a breathing apparatus attached to her throat, evidence of sophisticated biotech integrated with her body. Whatever civilization had produced this being was far beyond Earth's technological understanding. In the medical bay, automated systems scanned the alien while Liam searched for any treatment protocols that might help a completely unknown physiology. The scanner revealed what looked like a developing fetus within her, but unlike anything human. The small being pulsed with its own light, surrounded by protective fluid that seemed to shimmer with microscopic technology. The alien's translator flickered again: not save me. Save child. What happened to your people? Liam asked, adjusting the scanners to better monitor her vital signs. Destruction. Last of Zarani. Her multifaceted eyes fixed on him with desperate intensity. Through the translator came one more message before she slipped into unconsciousness. Last hope. Trust you. Human. Liam stared at the scanner display showing mother and unborn child, then at the alien life form whose fate had literally crashed into his mundane existence. Whatever was happening, he was now part of something far bigger than his small role in humanity's reach for the stars. "I'll help you both," he promised the unconscious alien. "Whatever it takes." Outside the station, the vast emptiness of space continued its silent watch, indifferent to the momentous event unfolding within, the future of an entire civilization now resting in very human hands. 72 hours had passed since the alien crash-landed into Liam's life. He'd barely left the medical bay, catching moments of sleep in the adjacent monitoring room while keeping constant watch over his unexpected patient. The station's limited medical AI had been running continuous analyses, struggling to decode the alien's physiology. "Vital signs stabilizing," the computer informed him as he checked the morning readings. "Foreign organism maintaining independent life functions." The alien, whom he'd started thinking of as Nari after seeing the symbol repeating in her translator, had drifted in and out of consciousness. Each time she woke, they'd managed to exchange a few more translated concepts before exhaustion claimed her again. "The baby?" Liam asked during one such moment of lucidity. "Is it, all right?" Nari's fingers danced across her translator device. "Growing. Protected. Advanced gestation. How far along are you?" "Equivalent. 3 Earth months. Accelerated development." Liam frowned. The scans showed what appeared to be a nearly fully formed infant. "That's not 3 months by human standards." "Zarani different. Adapt to survive. Child carries ancestral memory." The concept stunned him. "Your child will remember your people? Your civilization?" Nari's multifaceted eyes seemed to shimmer with what might have been tears, though the liquid that gathered at their edges had the consistency of liquid crystal. "All of U.S. last vessel." She pointed to elaborate markings that Liam had assumed were tattoos on her skin but now realized were some kind of technological interface, microscopic circuitry embedded in her tissue. "Connected to Zarani archive. When child born. We'll know." "What happened to your world, Nari?" he finally dared to ask. Nari's response came slowly, as if each symbol cost her tremendous effort. "Stellar collapse. No warning. Evacuation pods launched. Only 17. Attacked by scavengers." "Someone attacked evacuation pods?" The concept sickened him. "Who would do that?" "Hunters. Collectors. Value Zarani biotech." Liam glanced at the sophisticated integration of technology with her biology. Of course other species would covet such advancements. "Are they following you?" Her answer was a single, terrifying symbol, yes. The station's alert system chose that moment to interrupt. "Unscheduled supply vessel approaching. Request for emergency docking." Liam frowned. "That's not right. Next supply run isn't for weeks." Nari's body tensed, her breathing apparatus whirring faster. "Danger." Liam crossed to the communication terminal. "This is Technician Kendrick. Identify yourself and state the nature of your emergency." The response came after a suspicious delay. "Fuel system malfunction. Request immediate docking for repairs." Nari's translator flashed, "Lies. Hunters." Liam had spent enough time in space to trust his instincts, and right now, they were screaming. He turned off the official channel. "Computer, scan approaching vessel for weapon systems." "Scanning complete. Vessel contains multiple unauthorized weapon signatures." "Alert, vessel is arming targeting systems." The station shook as the first warning shot struck near the docking bay. "They're not here for repairs," Liam muttered. He made a split-second decision that would forever change his life's trajectory. "Computer, prepare evacuation shuttle. Medical priority transfer." As alarm klaxons began to sound, Liam quickly disconnected Nari from the station's medical systems and transferred her to a mobile gurney. "We have to leave," he explained, gathering emergency supplies. "This station isn't defensible." Nari's eyes fixed on him with painful intensity, her translator producing a single question: "Why help?" Liam paused, surprised by the question but not by his answer. "Because your child deserves a chance. Because I can't stand by and watch hunters destroy the last of an entire civilization." He smiled grimly. "Because it's what humans are supposed to do." As they rushed toward the evacuation bay, the station rocked with another impact. Through the viewport, Liam saw the supply ship extending boarding tubes. They had minutes at most. "Computer, initiate Protocol Omega-17, Liam commanded as they reached the shuttle. "Warning, Protocol Omega-17 will render station systems inoperable for approximately 72 hours. Confirm authorization." "Confirmed. Buy us time." It wasn't a permanent solution, but the complete systems reset would force the hunters to manually override every door, every airlock. As the shuttle broke away from the station, Nari reached for Liam's hand, her 4 fingers intertwining with his 5 in a strange but perfect fit. "Thank you. Trust right." Liam plotted a course away from established shipping lanes, where they'd be harder to track. "Now we just need to find somewhere safe. For both of you." Behind them, the darkened station grew smaller against the star field. Ahead lay uncertainty, danger, and the fragile hope of preserving a civilization carried within one unborn child. "Status report," Liam demanded, his voice tense as he guided their small evacuation shuttle through the debris field of an abandoned mining operation. 3 days had passed since their narrow escape from orbital platform Theta-9. Fuel reserves at 62%. Life support optimal. Pursuit vessel maintaining distance at 2.3 million kilometers, the shuttle's rudimentary AI responded. Liam cursed under his breath. The hunters were hanging back, tracking them methodically rather than risking damage to their prize in an all-out assault. It was the smart play, their quarry had limited options and dwindling resources. In the medical berth behind him, Nari stirred. Her condition had stabilized somewhat during their flight, but her physiology was clearly allocating all resources toward protecting her unborn child, leaving little for her own recovery. She lifted her translator. "Where?" "Mars Colonial Medical Center," Liam answered, pointing to the red planet's position on the navigation display. "Best xenobiology research facility in the system. If anyone can help you and your baby, it's them." "Hunters know?" "Probably." He couldn't lie to her. "But Mars has defensive capabilities that Theta-9 didn't. And I have connections there." What he didn't mention was that those connections came from a past he'd tried to leave behind, military service during the Ganymede conflict that had left him seeking the solitude of deep space maintenance work. Nari's multifaceted eyes studied him with what he'd come to recognize as concern. "Dangerous for you." Liam smiled grimly. "Already committed treason by abandoning my post and stealing Earth Union property. Might as well make it worthwhile." Her translator projected a new symbol, one he hadn't seen before. When he looked confused, she touched her chest, then his. "Friendship," he guessed. "Deeper. Soul bond. Rare honor." The gesture moved him more than he expected. "Thank you." A proximity alarm shattered the moment. "Warning, multiple objects on intercept trajectory." The scanner showed 5 small, fast-moving craft deployed from the hunting vessel, autonomous drones designed for capture, not destruction. "They're done waiting," Liam muttered, strapping himself into the pilot's chair. "Nari, secure yourself. This is going to get rough." He disengaged the autopilot and took manual control, something the evacuation shuttle wasn't designed for but which his military training had prepared him to handle. The shuttle lurched as he executed a sharp turn into the densest part of the debris field. Computer, divert power from life support to engines and shields. Minimum survivable levels. Acknowledged. Caution advised. Oxygen levels will begin to deplete after 47 minutes. It was a gamble, they needed speed now more than comfort. The shuttle accelerated, weaving between massive chunks of abandoned mining equipment and asteroids. Behind them, two of the drones collided with debris, their explosions briefly illuminating the field. Nari's translator flashed urgently, child distressed. Just a little longer, Liam promised, executing another evasive maneuver as a drone locked onto their position. Computer, prepare to vent coolant on my mark. He waited until the closest drone was directly behind them, then, mark. A cloud of superchilled particles exploded from the shuttle's rear ports. The pursuing drone flew directly into the cloud, its sensors immediately icing over. It tumbled away, disoriented. Two drones remained, closing fast. Liam spotted a narrow passage between two massive, slowly rotating mining platforms. This is going to be close, he warned, angling toward the gap. The shuttle barely fit, scraping against one platform with a horrific screech of metal on metal. Behind them, one drone tried to follow and was crushed instantly. The last drone circled around, seeking another approach. Liam allowed himself a moment of relief, then the shuttle's systems flickered. Warning, critical system damage. Engine failure imminent. The collision had done more damage than he'd realized. They were now drifting, with one drone still in pursuit and the hunter ship steadily closing the distance. Nari's translator projected, options? Liam studied the navigation system. They were still days from Mars, but there was another option closer, a research outpost on Deimos, one of the Martian moons. We can't outrun them anymore, he admitted. But we might find help at Deimos Station. I know someone there, a xenobiologist named Dr. Rin Tao. If we can reach her, she might be able to help us, and hide us. The last drone was circling their position, seemingly content to wait for the hunter ship to arrive. Their situation was dire, but Liam refused to give up. Computer, do we have enough power for one short-range FTL jump? Affirmative, but precise navigation will be compromised. Arrival coordinates may vary by up to 500,000 kilometers. It was a desperate move. The shuttle wasn't designed for FTL travel, and a jump without proper calculations could send them into a planet, an asteroid, or the void between systems. But it would also instantly lose their pursuer. Liam looked back at Nari, seeking her input. Her hand rested protectively over her abdomen, where the child of the Zarani, perhaps the last of its kind, continued to develop against all odds. Her translator displayed a single word, trust. Computing emergency jump to Deimos Station vicinity, Liam commanded, setting the coordinates. Executing in 3, 2, 1. Space twisted around them as the makeshift jump drive engaged. The stars blurred, reality itself seeming to fold inward. Liam's last thought before unconsciousness claimed him was a desperate hope that they would rematerialize somewhere, anywhere, safe. For the moment, they had escaped their hunters. But the race to save Nari, her child, and the legacy of an entire civilization had only begun. Liam awoke to the gentle beeping of medical equipment and the familiar antiseptic smell of a proper medical facility. His body felt leaden, the after-effects of their desperate FTL jump lingering in his muscles and bones. As consciousness fully returned, panic surged through him. Nari, he called out, attempting to sit up despite the protest from his aching body. Easy, Lieutenant Kendrick. Your alien friend is stable. A woman in a lab coat appeared at his bedside, her stern features softening slightly. Dr. Rin Tao hadn't changed much in the 5 years since he'd last seen her, still the same intense gaze and practical demeanor that had made her one of the most respected xenobiologists in the system. How did you know to find us? Liam asked. Your shuttle appeared practically on our doorstep, leaking radiation and life support. Lucky for you, we still monitor old military emergency channels. She checked his vitals. The jump drive completely disintegrated after arrival. Primitive technology for such a maneuver. It wasn't exactly planned, Liam admitted. Where is she? Isolation Lab 3. Most fascinating physiology I've ever encountered. Seeing his expression, she added, she's receiving the best care possible. The pregnancy is remarkable. Unlike anything in our records. Liam swung his legs over the edge of the bed. I need to see her. Dr. Tao didn't try to stop him. You should know, we've detected an unregistered vessel making sweeps of the outer Martian orbital path. You're hunters, I presume? They're persistent, Liam confirmed grimly. How secure is this facility? We're a research outpost, not a military installation, she replied. But we're also not officially on any public registry. Part of our funding comes from sources that prefer discretion. Translation: the facility had protection, but not enough to withstand a determined assault. In Isolation Lab 3, Liam found Nari suspended in a specialized containment field, medical instruments monitoring both her and her unborn child. The blue luminescence in her abdomen had intensified, casting ethereal patterns across the sterile white walls. Her eyes opened as he approached, recognition and relief evident even in their alien structure. Her four-fingered hand reached for her translator. Found safe place? Temporarily, Liam answered honestly. Dr. Tao is an old friend and the best xenobiologist in the system. She's going to help us. Child grows quickly now. Final stage. Dr. Tao had followed him into the lab. The fetus has developed more in 3 days than would be expected in 3 months. The mother's body is sacrificing itself to accelerate the process. What does that mean? Liam demanded, though he feared he already knew. Nari answered through her translator, expected. Zarani way. Mother gives life force to child in times of danger. She's dying, Dr. Tao said quietly. Her biological systems are shutting down one by one as they transfer energy and essential materials to the child. It's the most remarkable self-sacrifice I've ever witnessed. Liam's throat tightened. There must be something we can do. Natural process, Nari insisted. Honorable end. Continues cycle. Dr. Tao's communication device chimed. Her expression darkened as she read the message. Security alert. That vessel we detected is on an approach vector. They're not trying to hide anymore. How long do we have? Liam asked. Hours, maybe less. Liam made a decision. Prepare for evacuation. Priority medical transport for Nari. Evacuation where? Mars colony is 3 days transit even in our fastest vessel. Wherever we can go that's not here. We just need to keep moving until. He couldn't finish the sentence, looking at Nari's weakening form. Until child born, her translator completed for him. Soon now. That night, as Dr. Tao's team prepared for possible evacuation, Liam sat beside Nari in the isolation lab. She had insisted on being removed from the containment field, preferring to spend her remaining energy in consciousness rather than suspended animation. Her translator worked sporadically now, her strength fading, but they had developed a connection that transcended language. Through gestures and the sharing of simple images on her device, she taught him about the Zarani, their art, philosophy, and their profound connection to the cosmic rhythms of the universe. Your people understood things we humans are just beginning to theorize about, Liam said in wonder as she showed him Zarani mathematical concepts that unified physics in ways Earth scientists had sought for centuries. Knowledge not lost, she responded with effort. Child will remember. Child will share. I'll make sure of it, he promised. As the facility's lights dimmed for the night cycle, Nari's hand found his. She guided his palm to rest on her abdomen, where the child within responded with a pulse of blue light that traveled up through his arm like an electric current. Suddenly, his mind filled with images, not words or concrete thoughts, but emotions and impressions that conveyed gratitude, purpose, and a profound sense of connection. Soul bond, her translator flickered. Now 3. Liam felt tears on his cheeks, overwhelmed by the intimacy of the moment and the responsibility it entailed. I'll protect your child with my life, Nari. Your people will not be forgotten. An alarm shattered the moment, proximity warnings blaring throughout the facility. Dr. Tao burst into the lab. They've found us. Multiple vessels approaching. We need to move now. Liam helped Nari onto a transport stretcher as the facility's minimal defense systems engaged. The hunters had arrived sooner than expected, likely employing FTL technology superior to anything the research outpost possessed. As they rushed toward the emergency hangar, the first explosions rocked the facility. The hunters weren't bothering with subtlety anymore, they wanted the Zarani technology, regardless of who got hurt in the process. In the chaos of evacuation, Liam made a split-second calculation. The hunters were tracking Nari specifically, likely through the unique energy signature of her pregnancy. If the transport vessel carrying her tried to escape, it would be the primary target. Get her aboard, he ordered Dr. Tao and her staff. I'll create a diversion. Before anyone could object, he raced to the secondary hangar where smaller research craft were kept. The plan was desperate but simple. He would take one of the craft, replicating some of the energy signatures they had recorded from Nari, and lead the hunters away from the actual evacuation. As alarms continued to blare and the facility shuddered under another impact, Liam knew the odds of survival were slim. But somewhere in the chaos behind him, the last hope of the Zarani civilization, and now a piece of his own soul, needed time to escape. The small research vessel hummed to life under his hands. Let's give them something to chase, he muttered, launching into the darkness of space with the hunters close behind. Dawn broke over the vast Martian desert, painting the red landscape in hues of gold and amber. 6 weeks had passed since the desperate evacuation from Deimos Station. Inside the secure medical facility buried beneath the surface of Mars Colony's scientific quarter, Dr. Rin Tao made final preparations in the specialized delivery chamber. Life signs, she asked her assistant. Mother's systems failing rapidly. Child signs strong and stable. Nari lay in the center of the chamber, her silvery blue skin now almost transparent, the complex network of biotechnological circuitry beneath clearly visible. The luminescence in her abdomen had grown so intense that the medical team wore protective eyewear. Despite her deteriorating condition, Nari remained conscious, her multifaceted eyes clear and focused. Her translator, now integrated with the facility's communication system, projected, "Time comes." "Ready." Dr. Tao nodded solemnly. "We're ready, Nari. We'll do everything we can for both of you." The door to the chamber slid open, admitting a figure that caused the medical team to pause in surprise. Liam Kendrick, his face bearing new scars and one arm in a supportive sling, walked purposefully to Nari's side. "You made it," Dr. Tao breathed. "The hunters?" "Dealt with," Liam replied grimly. "Their ship was damaged enough in the chase that when Earth Defense Forces finally responded to my distress call, the hunters retreated rather than face military intervention." He didn't elaborate on the harrowing 2 weeks he'd spent leading the hunters through the asteroid belt, staying just ahead of their weapons while gradually working his way back toward Mars. Nari's hand reached for his, their now familiar grip a bridge between two vastly different forms of life. "No regret," her translator displayed. "Worth all." The medical equipment suddenly chimed in alert. "Final phase beginning," Dr. Tao announced. "Everyone to your stations." What followed was unlike any human birth. The luminescence in Nari's abdomen intensified to an almost blinding degree, her body arching as energy cascaded through the intricate circuitry in her skin. The chamber's instruments recorded massive data transfers occurring at the quantum level, knowledge and memory passing from mother to child in the Zarani's ultimate act of preservation. Liam held Nari's hand throughout, feeling through their soul bond the mixture of pain and profound purpose that filled her being. There was no fear in her, only determination and, remarkably, joy. With a final pulse of light that temporarily overloaded the chamber's systems, the child emerged, smaller than a human infant, with skin that shifted between deep blue and violet, and eyes that already held awareness beyond its newborn state. The biotechnological circuitry that had marked Nari's skin appeared as faint, luminescent patterns on the child, less integrated but unmistakably present. Dr. Tao carefully lifted the infant, conducting immediate examinations with gentle efficiency. "Extraordinary," she whispered. "All life signs strong. Neural activity off the charts." Liam turned back to Nari, whose grip on his hand had weakened. Her translator displayed one more message: name. Astra. Means stars and hope. Astra, Liam repeated, his voice thick with emotion. "It's perfect." Nari's eyes fixed on her child as Dr. Tao brought the infant close. Though no translator was needed, one final message appeared: remember. Teach. Connect. With those words, the last adult Zarani's eyes dimmed, her body releasing a gentle wave of luminescence that seemed to flow into her child before dissipating. The monitors confirmed what they already knew: Nari had completed her journey, giving everything so that her child, and her civilization, might survive. 3 months later, Liam stood before the Earth Union Council, Astra cradled carefully in his arms. The infant Zarani, growing at a remarkable rate, now resembled a human toddler in development, though her appearance remained distinctly alien. The knowledge contained within the Zarani child represents the most significant xenocultural discovery in human history, he stated to the assembled representatives. Their understanding of quantum mechanics, biotechnology, and cosmic phenomena could advance our civilization by centuries. "And you propose," prompted the council chairperson. "A sanctuary," Liam replied. "A place where Astra can grow safely, where scientists can learn from the knowledge she carries, and where she can eventually connect with her heritage. Not as a research subject, but as the ambassador of a civilization that we never had the chance to meet properly." The debate was lengthy and occasionally heated, but eventually, reason prevailed, aided significantly by Dr. Tao's comprehensive reports on the potential scientific advancements offered by peaceful exchange with the Zarani knowledge. 1 year later, the Zarani sanctuary opened in a remote region of Earth's restored Pacific Northwest. A combination of research facility, cultural center, and home, it became the place where Astra, last child of the Zarani, would grow under the guardianship of Liam Kendrick. On the sanctuary's opening day, Liam stood with Astra at the memorial erected to honor Nari and the lost Zarani civilization. The young child, now able to communicate through a modified version of her mother's translator, placed her small 4-fingered hand against the monument. "Mother knew you would help," she communicated. "Saw goodness in humans." "One human," Liam corrected gently. "She took a chance on one human." "Enough," Astra responded with wisdom that still startled him despite knowing the ancestral memories she carried. "One connection builds bridge between worlds." As the sun set over the sanctuary, painting the sky in colors that reminded Liam of Nari's translucent skin, he reflected on the extraordinary journey that had brought them to this moment. A random encounter in the vastness of space had preserved not just a child or a species, but an entire way of understanding the universe. "New beginnings," he said softly to Astra, who was already gazing at the first visible stars with the innate connection to the cosmos that characterized her people. She formed her response carefully: "Not just Zarani new beginning. Humans too. Together." Liam nodded, recognizing the profound truth in her words. Two civilizations, one nearly lost to catastrophe, now had a chance to grow together, learning from each other's strengths and perspectives. In saving the last hope of the Zarani, humanity had unknowingly secured a new future for itself as well, one where the stars seemed suddenly closer and more welcoming than ever before. From her place among the stars, Liam liked to think that Nari was watching, her multifaceted eyes shining with the knowledge that her sacrifice had created not just survival, but true hope, for her child, her civilization, and for the humans who had proven worthy of her trust.